What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl Toya, and this episode is called But Why? Now, before we get into that, I think that I should just do a check-in, right? So we finished Mental Health Awareness Month with the Yourself series. I think I got through all of it because clearly this episode by the title has nothing to do with the Yourself thing. But I think I did all the episodes of that Yourself series. So I just want to stop before I get into this episode to do a check-in because I think this is something that I've needed to do myself, and it's something that also gave me the inspiration for this episode. It's just a check-in. Like, how are y'all doing on your goals? How are you doing on your mental goals, your physical goals, your goals within relationships and work? Where are you with those? Because if I can be completely transparent, I have not been as consistent as I should be with mine. But I'm definitely getting back on it. Like physically, I haven't been working out or waking up and doing my yoga like I have been doing, drinking my lime or lemon water. Like I'm getting back on that. I'm gonna go to the gym after I record this. Reluctantly, like y'all, I really got to do better. I got to change my mind so that I can change everything else because I want to love the gym so bad. I want to be a gym girly so bad, but I do not enjoy going to the gym. I think it's because I really need to go. So here's my dilemma. Like I usually don't do the talking before the episode, but whatever, check in. I don't mind working out. It's just that like once I get home from work, I want to be home from work. Like I don't want to get dressed again to leave back out to do something that I don't really care to do, you know? So yes, I know the simple solution to that is like pack your gym bag, go right after work. I also have an issue with it being a lot of people at the gym. Like I don't want to be around a lot of people when I work out. Like I genuinely enjoy working out by myself because I really get the time to kind of think through things and all of that. And even like, oh, but wear headphones and listen to music. Like that don't necessarily do it for me. I actually prefer to work out without headphones a lot of times, which I know people be like, girl, what? But my diet, like I have been going back and forth with like not eating meat and then I'll eat some meat, but I got to be more disciplined in that area. That's really a goal of mine, making sure I eat fruit every day. I've been eating a lot of, excuse me, y'all, hold on. Oh, I've been eating a lot of like junk food and chips and candy. And I think too, it's because the school year just ended and like in my job, coaching teachers, they'll give me like their leftover candy or they're having like class parties at the end of the year and, things like that. So I've been given candy and I've just been bored at work sometimes at the office or just like monitoring at a school and I'm just eating candy because that's what's in my purse. So I definitely need to get more healthy snacks and meal prep and do all the things that I know I need to do. And I need to stop saying that I need to do them, that I'm going to do those things. I did do a little bit of meal prep yesterday, but that is neither here nor there. It does relate to the episode and you all will see how that ties in because I had to really sit myself down and I think I'm going to make this an exercise that I do tonight before bed, like a journaling exercise, is ask why, for a lot of the different areas and things, situations, circumstances that I allow myself to be in. Just why, like, but why are you in it? Why do you do it? Why does it make sense for you? And I need to do that because what I'm noticing is happening. And I don't know if this will resonate or make sense with anyone else, but what I noticed that is happening is more and more opportunity is being presented, right? More opportunities to grow and change and be successful. But I can't help but to reflect on, is this really for me? Is this really what I want to do? Is this really how I want to do it? Because in me being honest with myself, because self-awareness, right? In me being honest with myself, there are a lot of things that I have done in my past or that I can see myself doing a little bit now is like just going with whatever is presented to me. Somebody's like, oh, you're good at this, you should do this. And I'm like, sure, I'll try it. Or, oh, you should do this. Or, oh, this is how you handle this situation. And just really taking everyone's advice and calling on everyone's opinion for things that I do in my life. And I'm realizing how detrimental that can be because, yes, I'm probably good at all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be good at bullshitting, but that don't mean you enjoy the shit that you're doing. And so I'm realizing that it is okay for me to take a minute to really look at everything that is in front of me, at every opportunity that I have, at all the ideas that I've come up with, and really figure out why. But why does that make sense for me? Why is it that I'm doing this? Why is it that I'm allowing this? And so that is the basis of this episode. This episode is called But Why? And so getting into that, I looked up the definition of the word why. And what I got was the cause, reason, or purpose for which, and then in parentheses, you do something. So it really is the cause, the reason, or the purpose. And the word that stuck out to me in that definition was purpose. Purpose. And we are in an era where you hear so much from so many people and so often that you need to walk in your purpose. You need to find your purpose. Do things that align with your purpose, like your purpose, your purpose, your purpose. And I'm actually going to look up the definition of purpose. But the reason that stood out to me in the definition of the word why is because we need to know why. Why do you feel like that's your purpose? Why do you feel like that? And the definition of purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. So you need to figure out, one, what your purpose is, and then why is that your purpose? Why is that what you feel like you're called to do? And the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about answering that question is your purpose in life is the thing that you don't mind waking up every day doing for free. So I don't know if that's the same thing as like your calling and your purpose. I don't know if we can use those terms interchangeably. Let me see if I can find the definition of what a calling is. So it's talking about. So a calling is a strong urge toward a particular way of life or career. So when I think about a calling, that's more of like specific to an idea, but the purpose is the reason. Hold on, y'all. Don't let me get it mixed up. I should have wrote these down beforehand. But purpose, P-O-S-E, is the reason that we exist. Okay, so that makes me then think like I wasn't thinking correctly about the word purpose. But when I think about the definition of why, the cause, reason, or purpose for which you do something, like, why was this seed planted inside of you? Why is this so near and dear to you? What is it that you really love and enjoy? And I think that's what I want to get at is when we talk about the definition of why and that word purpose being in there, I want us to think about, why is this so near and dear to you? Like, I have a purpose in life to be a lawyer. I have a purpose in life to be a mental health therapist. I have a purpose in life to do whatever it is that you want to do. But then you really have to ask yourself, why am I so passionate about this? Why am I so passionate about life coaching? Why am I so passionate about using my voice to let people know it's okay? And when I think about that for myself right now in real time, why am I doing this thing, right? With no promotion. I'm not making a post every week about me. You know what I'm saying? Here's an episode. I have moved away from being live on Facebook every Tuesday because I really think that I've gotten into my purpose, and my real purpose or my why for doing this is because I want people to know that genuine and authentic support exists. happiness and the life that you want exists, no matter what you've been through, no matter how you've compared yourself to others and everything that's out on the internet. My purpose is literally to make people understand and realize that everything that you've experienced, especially the things that are difficult, are okay. I really, 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 really am passionate about having people be in tune with their own humanness. This new age, this new world of technology and AI and all of the different things, like it's overwhelming for those of us who genuinely just love to exist and be in our humanness. You know, the world has given a title and a label to everything: manipulation and narcissists and attachment styles and love languages and all of these different things to kind of categorize, separate, and alienate us from what is deemed normal. But if we think about it, what is actually normal these days? So this platform, my purpose for it is genuinely to keep people in tune with their humanness. You are not always going to be a good friend. I know we criticize and bash people on the internet for having, you know what I'm saying, done things that were probably not favorable. And sometimes people are bad. And that's where you have to really be able to recognize personality, character, and how all of those things go into play. But some people are just in bad spots in their lives. You probably walked in on a chapter that wasn't the best for them. But we have to learn how to accept ourselves, forgive ourselves, give grace to ourselves in every single stage, because you are going to go through stages in your life. It is okay to grow and evolve. And I'm going to do an episode about evolution, or the word evolve, in a minute, because I think we oftentimes forget, like, yeah, at one point in your life, you probably were a little different. You were wild. I was listening to the Let's Try This Again podcast by B. Simone this morning, and her guest on there was Russ. I don't even know if that's the latest episode of the podcast, but the guest on there, his name was Russ, and he was just saying how, like, in his 20s, I don't know how old he is now. I don't even know who he is, to be honest, but how he was like in his 20s and he just thought he knew the world, and it's cringy, right? Some of the things that he did and said then that he kind of reflects on that people may have criticized, but takes it and gives himself grace because he knows now I'm not that. And it's okay for you to look at who you were in the past and let it go and say, like, yeah, like that version of me said it, meant it, felt it, didn't have any remorse, any regrets, but I have graduated from that. And so I think we forget that in this day and age, where every little thing that people do that's seen as negative or is not favorable to somebody else, or when we misstep and we, you know what I'm saying, everything is magnified, you know, and singled out, and there's different types of ridicule attached to it. But my why in creating Universal Teas, the People's Podcast, was to literally get people back in touch with their humanness. Because I don't care, like, y'all, I am at a phase in my life where I don't be caring to do the theatrics for social media. Like, I have fully, well, not even fully, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm very close to fully accepting the fact that I am a very, very simple girly. Like, I'm not for all the theatrics on social media. I'm not for all of the over the top and putting on stuff that's uncomfortable to me to make it look good. And I'm not for that. I want to get the fullness of this human experience in the most positive and light way possible. That is my why. That is why I'm self-reflecting. That is why I'm making changes. That's why I'm depositing into my mental, into my physical. That's why I am so invested in my spiritual. On a soul level, y'all. I want to get so good and happy and free. That's what I'm invested in. And if I'm so busy worried about how I look to the world, I can spend so much time on how I look to the world and still be trash on the inside. And that's so many people's story. So you really want to figure out the why behind your purpose. Why is that thing tugging at you every day and every night? Why? Why does it keep you up? Why can't you go to sleep? Why are you always researching? And I've heard people a bunch of times before, like, I'm always looking up or reading about politics, or I'm always trying to figure out what's happening in this market, or I'm always trying to, or reading about or watching YouTube videos of people who do this. And I think more so kids that I've seen, I know there's some adults out there probably too, but like, we love to watch people have amazing lives on YouTube that are fully attainable for ourselves if we just apply ourselves and have discipline and keep the right people around us, and we make sure that we're good with us and we get our heads on straight and we clear our bodies and our minds and our souls. But we love to watch and admire people who live great lives as if we are not capable of the same thing. Like, the whole career of being a social media influencer is so odd to me. Like, and I get the whole mechanics behind like creating the videos, like the logistics of it. I get that. But the concept of somebody making a living off of just doing their days that is being watched by other people who are somehow hoping or admiring them for just being who they like. I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation to unpack for another day. But really figure out or understand that everything that you admire, you're privy to. We don't lack anything, but motivation and discipline, probably, and consistency. And so when I think about the word why, I also think about kids. We all know a kid in our lives where they got to that why stage. Why? Every time you tell them something, or every time they see something, they're asking you what that is, and you give them a simple answer and they say no, but why? We need to start to get like that with ourselves. When a kid is asking you but why, 9 times out of 10 you gave them a dry answer and they still don't understand, so they're looking for clarity. And they're like, Mom, why are you, or they're saying like, Mom, what's that? And you're like, that's the stove, or like, that's this. And they're like, but why? You're getting irritated, but they're really just invested in understanding. You need to do that same thing for yourself. Look at every aspect of your life and ask yourself, but why? Yes, I am in this career and I've been doing it for X amount of years and I complain about it every year that I go back, but why do I stay? Why? And so some of the things that I want us to think about and ask why at is like, why do you like the things that you like? Why do you like to go out every weekend and drink? Why do you like to smoke weed? Why do you like to eat the foods that you eat? Why? And then in all of these questions that I'm about to pose to you, I also want you to think opposite. Some people are like, I can't be no vegetarian or no vegan, but why? But why? Really question that. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes when we ask why, we sort of delve into, and this was actually at the bottom of my notes, but when we start to ask ourselves why about the things we do and indulge in on a daily basis or on a consistent basis, we start to realize that it's just either coping mechanism or just things that we've blindly taken on because we've seen them before in our past. Because why? Why do we feel like we can't do certain things? Okay. And that question of why you have to be, okay, so here's something too. And I feel like I'm going back and forth, but I just keep getting these different like messages as I'm talking. Another thing too, when you ask yourself why. So I'm thinking about when I do this activity, I'm going to have different categories. So like career or work, business, friends, family, romantic relationship, goals that I probably haven't gotten to, just all the different facets of my life. And when I ask myself why, I have to be honest with the answer. We can easily say the reason that society gives us to say why. But I want you to answer that question to know that it's only you. Answer the question like you're not trying to please anybody. Answer the question and don't consider how others are going to think. Answer the question of why and don't consider how you were raised. Don't consider what you seen your mama and your TTs and your uncles doing. Just ask yourself why and answer it. Answer it honestly. And it's even more telling if you go to answer the question of why and you come up with nothing, because that's your answer. If you come up with nothing when you ask yourself why, that's exactly what you should be doing in that area, in that relationship, in that friendship, in that job, in that business deal, in that business idea. If you literally stump yourself when you get to the why for a situation, that's probably because you shouldn't be in it, you shouldn't be doing it, and you shouldn't be investing in it. Okay? And I'm not saying if you have to take a long time to think about it. I'm saying if you really do it with intention and you can't come up with anything as to why you do it, not why people are happy for you to do it, not why your mama's proud of you that you're doing it, not why everybody is telling you that you're the best at it, but why are you doing it? There's a lot of things that I'm good at. That doesn't mean that I'm doing all of them or making all of them into the biggest thing or situation in my life. Some things should be left to hobby. The example that I give is yoga. I'm finding that I really, really love yoga. And I also have no desire to be a yoga instructor or own a yoga studio. Like, it's okay to let some things just be your hobby. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean that it has to take over your whole world and you have to own it. Unless you just have a real fired up entrepreneurial spirit inside of you. But some things should just be left to hobby. We are humans. We are humans, y'all. It was a post that was shared with me the other day, like, yo, we're just mammals. I think we forget that we are not far removed from the animal species. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, the constructs of society and capitalism have taken a lot of that away from us against our wills, but we still have those same needs for community, for rest, for food that feels and tastes good for our bodies, that are natural from the earth. We are still entitled to that peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's anything that I could want, it's peace and lightness 95% of the time. It's for a calm mind way more often than I have it now. And so when you're looking at these different areas of your lives, like, what do you like and what do you don't like and why? You know, when you was in school and you had to answer questions, and when I was in the classrooms teaching, I would hate when a kid would answer a question and they ignore the part that says and why. And they like, I said it. And I'm like, no, why is that a thing? And the reason I will tell you that kids hate the and why question is because they have to look deeper into the text, into whatever it is that they were being asked to get the why. Because I can say, I've been eating candy all week because I like it, because it feels good to me. But if you were to tag, but why does it feel good to you? I would have to think a little deeper. So we have to learn to give ourselves that same challenge. And it shouldn't even be a challenge after a while, once it becomes natural to you. But tag that and why, or that but why, at the end of every decision you make, every situation you are confronted with, every relationship that you currently have or are presented with in the future. But why does this make sense? But why am I doing this? And if there are any reasons beyond things that fulfill you personally and exclusively, I want you to reconsider that. Okay? Another why question that I have, and this one I definitely am going to flesh out into another episode. I don't know if it'll be the next one or one in the near future, but why do you value what you value? This is also something that I definitely need to journal, because values are so important. And I'm going to look up the definition of what a value is. And so before I tell y'all the definition of the word value, the question then was, why do you value what you value? I know I was in therapy one time and I was asked about what my values were. And so that is the question that I want to kind of flesh out into a whole thing, because when we talk about values, the definition is the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. So when we talk about the things that we value, is it honesty? Is it trust? Is it consistency? What do you value in others, and what is it that you value in yourself? Values in general, what are they? And so in this episode, I want you to then think about, so these will probably go like backwards. So you probably want to figure out what you value first and then why you value those things. And what I think about immediately is the things that you value are probably things that you had lack or compromise for in your childhood. So let's say you value communication. Think about why. In what ways was communication upheld for you? Because I always go to the negative, child. I'm going to not do that as much. But I always kind of go to the negative. But maybe you saw that in a healthy way growing up. Or even now, you may have developed and seen that, because I know I see it a lot now. But why do you value communication? What is that? How does that fill your cup? You know? And so when we think about values, whether it be honesty, whether it be trust, whether it be integrity, what is it? Make a list of 5 things that you value and then talk about why. Look at the definitions of those words. One thing that I can say I value, and it's just coming to me because I'm thinking about it. I need to journal this myself. One thing that I think I really, really value is integrity. And I'll tell you the definition. Child, I need to thank God for cell phones, because imagine if I was always looking up these definitions in the dang on dictionary. All y'all hear is pages flapping. Because I love a word. I love knowing what words mean, because I value words. And I'm going to explore that for myself since we're talking about it. But one thing that I truly value and hold to a high standard is integrity. And that is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles or moral uprightness, right? And so we also think of integrity as doing the right thing when no one is looking. And I think I value integrity in my relationships and friendships, because I always say, like, I can't stand, and I know that this probably goes back to my own childhood and just like how I grew up and the environment I grew up in, but I cannot feel comfortable in a relationship of any kind, work, friends for sure, family for sure, where I feel like I can't trust that you are speaking highly of me if I'm not in the room. So I value the integrity and people that I'm closest to. So that's my why. And it's very generic because I'm going off the top of the dome right now. But when I journal, like, that's one of my highest values is integrity. And so I want you all to think about that. Like, what is it that you value? Think of 5 things that you value and then write about why you value them. And then how have you, one, shown those for yourself, and not shown those for yourself in your own relationships? Because we can't say that we value something that we don't live. You can't value communication, but every time somebody comes in directly communicates with you, you're offended or you're defensive. You can't say that you value integrity, but you talk shit about people that are not in the room, and then you smile in their faces when they're in your presence. Like, be for real. You can't say that you value trust when no one can trust you to do anything and you always drop the ball for other people, or you judge other people. So Think about that. Why do you hold the values that you do? What do you value and why do you value those things? And so then another thing to question, because I live in this rut and I'm starting to get sick of my own shit, because I think that I know that I just kind of been letting a lot of my brilliance lie dormant. So another why that I think is very important for us all to explore is, why are you pursuing the things that you are, but why are you not pursuing the things you know you should? And that one, y'all, is even more important, because why are you not? What are you afraid of? Why are you letting fear? Why are you feeling anxious? Why are you not disciplined? Why are you inconsistent? And figuring that out, and like, why is pursuing those goals important to you? Is it important to you? Why are you not showing that in your actions if they are? So another why question why it is that you are going after the things you do. Because again, at the beginning of this, I was saying a lot of the times we take on the things that other people tell us we should do. You need to grow up and do this. You need to take on the family business. Everybody in our family was business owners. Everybody in our family were butchers. Everybody in our family was killers and drug dealers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you just falling in line because that's all you've been presented with, and if you made yourself afraid to explore the world of possibility? There are so many things you can do with your life at whatever age you are listening to this, because if you are able to listen to this, you can change a thing in your life to do it and make the rest of your days, minutes, hours, seconds enjoyable. Why is that goal your goal? Is it your goal? Because a lot of the times I've had to step back and be like, is this me? Is this what I want to do? Or is this what the world wants me to do? Is this how the world wants me to be seen and heard and felt and presented? And so that was even a reason in me taking a step back from the whole like social media hype of the podcast and live broadcasting and live events, in-person events, and doing all these different networkings, because I had to really sit down and tell myself, like, are you doing this for a show, or are you doing it because God called you to? Are you going to be able to have the integrity to record this podcast every Tuesday when no one's watching, when no one's asking you about it, when you're not posting about it, when people aren't talking about it anymore? Are you going to be able to do the things you said that you're going to do in the dark when nobody's looking for it? Because if I can't consistently record a podcast every Tuesday, how can I consistently show up for a workshop every month? How can I consistently plan and execute live events well? How can I flesh out all of these other ideas if I can't sit down and do the thing and cultivate the seed that I planted, which is to just sit my ass down and record this podcast, even when I don't feel like it? Why am I doing it? I told y'all in the beginning, because I am so committed to tapping people back into their humanness. And humans are not perfect. Humans don't always do the right thing. We don't always say the right things. We don't always handle situations the best. And I want us to understand that you don't have to hold yourself to your mistakes. And you can let go of anybody that still does. Okay. And so what I'm going to leave y'all with is this question. Why can you not do all the things that you dream about? Why can you not become the person that you see yourself as in your dreams every day? Why can you not bring that idea into the world that keeps you up at night? Because that's why you can't sleep. Because you got to get it out your head and into the world. We need it. Somebody needs it. And don't focus on how big it's going to be. Don't focus on how many people are going to hear it, but trust that the right person will. Just like I know that you are the perfect person to be listening to this podcast episode all the way into the end, because this was for you. Because you are dancing on the threshold of light and dark. You are hiding from yourself and masking it with all types of excuses that point to other people, but it's really you. Okay? So if you have made it to the end of this episode, I just want you to know that I love you. I believe in you. You have made some mistakes. You have done the wrong thing at one point, said the wrong thing, but you are still brilliant and amazing and called and destined and chosen. Okay? So why can't you step into greatness? You've done it 1,000,000 times before. You've survived 100% of your bad days, and you will continue to. If nobody has told you in a while, I love you. I love you, and I really, really hope that I get to see and experience your light one day. All right? So, thank you for making it to the end of this episode. It's your girl Toya again. I will see y'all right back here next Tuesday on Universal Teas, the People's Podcast. Share this episode with who you know needs it. Leave me a review, a comment. Tag me in it if you can. Universal Teas on Instagram. Toya Friend on Facebook. And I love y'all. Bye.